What's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy D, Strength Squad General. Welcome back to another video. This video is one that I've been looking forward to putting out a long time ago, years ago. I've looked forward to doing this video a long time ago. And you'll see what I mean as we continue to get through this video. And some of you guys may ask the question, if this is something that you've been wanting to do a long time ago, all you had to do is just pick the camera up and just film and record. I'll say for me, when it comes to certain things, it's a time and a place for everything. And sometimes you just don't want to pull the trigger when you feel like you're not ready to do so, especially when there's some personal things that's referenced in certain videos where you kind of want to be mindful of what it is that you say. And I wasn't ready then, but I'm ready today to talk about what it is that we're talking about today. So again, I've been looking forward to this one. I may be a little bit lengthy when it comes to this one, we'll see. Just going to speak from the heart, and I'm sure it's a lot of people out there that can relate to me, that really could find a gem or gems within this video, and I'm hoping that it's useful for you guys, because I'm sure as so many people who grew up like me can relate to what it is that I'm speaking of. And I'm sure some people out there that can't relate because of whatever, the way that you grew up may have been different than the way that I grew up. You may have been more established when it came to collecting yourself and finding your purpose, getting at your purpose, getting on your purpose, being active when it comes to just your pursuit of life. A lot of you guys had an early start. As for me personally, I'm just going to relate to a lot of you guys as I give gems in this video. I'm going to relate to you guys. But as for me, I consider myself a late bloomer, despite the fact that you guys may look at me and, I appreciate all the encouraging comments that you guys share. I appreciate all you guys for leaning towards me for encouragement and motivation to be on your purpose. But I want you guys to know that this wasn't always the case. This version of me wasn't always the case. I came a long way to be at this place where I'm more seasoned and developed and more polished. But this video especially is one of the main reasons why I can sit in front of you guys today. This video especially, if it wasn't for what it is that I discovered that I'm going to share with you guys in my journey, if it wasn't for those things that I'm going to unveil today with you guys, if it wasn't for those experiences coming from different perspectives, sharing with you guys some angles that you may not have been aware of when it comes to trying to figure out how to get on your purpose in life. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to start by saying I can relate. Like anything that I share with you guys, bro, like I've been there. I'm not going to talk about anything that I haven't experienced myself. But when it comes to me trying to figure out life and trying to figure out direction and how to go about life and like where's my purpose, how do I find my purpose, how did I discover my purpose, we're going to talk about that today. So let's just say, as I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, I didn't grow up with a lot of positive influence in my life. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but it started at home where there was such a lack of guidance, no direction. I pretty much was a free spirit, just, roaming the streets, just, doing what I do with no guidance, no direction. And of course, if you're not getting it at home and you grow up in certain environments that are challenging to your growth, it's going to be even more difficult, especially when you have no leadership in your environment, when you have no leadership around you, nobody to tell you that you're doing right from wrong, nobody to give you any type of encouragement to do something different with your life or do something better with your life. I pretty much was on my own for a very long time. And I say all of that to say, of course, not getting it at home, I tried to find who I was outside in the streets. Of course, not getting any direction or guidance at home. Naturally, we're going to try to figure out how we can get guidance outside. And in the environments that I was in, let's just say it was comprised of hanging out on the streets, going to clubs, partying every weekend, literally 3-4 times a week, which is one reason why I'm a homebody at this place and stage of my life, because I was always outside. When you hear people be like, I'm outside, that was me. I was outside. And just trying to find myself, trying to find direction, trying to figure out, like, honestly, it was before I was trying to find myself. I was just pretty much just floating, bro. I was pretty much just floating like a ship in a sea with no sail, with no direction, just letting the wind and the water just take me wherever the heck it wanted to take me. And I was just there for it. Perhaps in a way it was me crying out for help. Perhaps it was, me just being very, very influenced by the streets around me. But of course, as a lot of you guys can probably relate, at some point you start looking at your timeline and you start asking yourself, is this really what I want out of life? You start asking yourself, is this the best position that I should be in? Should I continue to travel down this road? As of course, it leads to trouble. You start making mistakes. You start putting yourself in compromised positions to where, your life gets real out there. And for me, I'll just say I just grew to a point in my life where I was like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And like I said, I could have been talked about this a long time ago, a while ago, but I chose not to, because I noticed that a lot of people who dwell on their past and talk about how hard it was for them, a lot of them do it in ways where it comes off as boasting. It comes off as, trying to show off how hard it was for you. And for me, I never wanted to convey that on here. I never wanted to talk about my life or experiences until I grew to a point where I realized that I had some clarity, until I grew to a point where I had direction to be able to come and sit down and talk to you guys with a game plan, with a level of understanding to be able to get a message to you guys and through to you guys. But like I said, let's just fast forward from being out there in those elements to going to a more mature place of saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something with my life. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to me when I say that being in that place, sitting myself down, which is something that I had to do, but sitting myself down and challenging myself to try to figure out where do I go from here was hard. It was one of the hardest things in my life, because in that moment of asking myself the question, what do you want out of life? I would say it got very real for me, because as for me, it got very real because it was very blank. There was nothing there. I had no idea of what I wanted to do with my life. I had no idea of where I wanted to go in life. I had no idea of my purpose in life. And so it caused me to ask an even further, an even deeper question, which was, who am I? And that's when the tears started flowing. That's when the journey began, because, not only was I at a point where I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, I didn't know who I was as a person. My identity was lost when I set myself down and really faced myself, stopped going outside, stopped doing these things that, was getting me into trouble, stopped doing these things that, entertaining just negative energy, bad energy. But that's when the journey began for me. That's when the journey started for me, my road to discovering who I was. Like I said, had I not challenged myself to be on this road of trying to figure out my life purpose, I would not be sitting here in front of you guys today having these type of conversations and real talks with you guys about being a purpose-driven individual. But anyway, so I will say, for anybody out there who can relate to me, for anybody out there who has a hard time trying to figure out how to get answers, how to get solutions, how to get direction, how to find direction, how to discover your purpose, and you have no influence in your life, you have nobody in your life who is of positive influence, you have nobody in your life who can give you direction, you have nobody in your life who can feed you that wisdom and knowledge. That was me, so I was in your shoes. But I'm going to tell you, there's hope. I'm going to tell you there's hope, and I'm going to tell you that there's a way that you can figure it out. I'm going to tell you that there's a way that you can figure it out. All right, so obviously the first thing that comes to mind is almost like going to the gym, lifting weights. In your mind, you try to do what you see everyone else doing. In your mind, you start, going to the bench press and trying to just lift as heavy as you possibly can, just to find out that you'll actually eventually injure yourself if you're not going about it properly. So for me, again, this is not for everyone, but this is a nugget, a gem that I believe will help out many people, as what it is that I discovered in my journey has helped me grow to this place that I'm at and continue in my journey of life as we continue to keep growing, all right? So for me, like I said, one of the most similar things that people like to do is start where they're at and start adding pieces into their life. They start adding pieces. They'll go and invest in this, and they'll go and do this, and they'll go and listen to this person, and they'll go and do this, do that, do this, adding pieces to their already loaded plate of things that they don't really want, environments that they don't really want to be in, people around them that they don't want to really be around. So what I'm gonna say is, what helped me, what worked for me, was I started my journey, again, not knowing what I wanted, not knowing where to go, not knowing how to go about my life. Again, I came from no direction, nobody around me to give me anything, spoon feed me, nothing. So what I did was, I started not from adding. I started not from adding things. I started not from asking questions. I started not from trying to acquire, adding to my life. I started from subtracting. And this is what I want to share with you guys, because this principle helped me tremendously. So for me, of course, trying to figure it out, you're looking around and you're like, well, what can I do? Like, what can I do in this moment to change things? And what can I add? What pieces can I add to help me? And so for me, I was like, you know what? I don't even know those answers. So what I'll do is I'll start by subtracting. I started my journey by removing pieces, removing people. Anything that did not contribute to my growth, I let it go. Anything that did not contribute to my purpose or help me to discover my purpose or contribute to me being a purpose-driven man, I let it go. I let it go. Any vices, any people, anybody within the environment that didn't contribute to my growth, I started by subtracting as opposed to adding. I started with removing everything that I knew didn't serve me any good purpose. I let go of anything or anyone that obviously didn't contribute to the solution, but was always a problem in my life choices. I let it go. And it felt good because I felt like I was actually onto something. I felt like I was being productive. I felt like I could see something tangible when it comes to me feeling like I'm doing something with my life useful, as opposed to trying to find something blind, as opposed to trying to add pieces that you really don't know will fit when it comes to you trying to find your purpose. I started with what I knew I could start from, which was removing things, removing people in my life, just clearing up my space, clearing up my plate, clearing up anything or anyone that was a distraction when it came to me trying to just clear my way to make way for my purpose, to make way for my travel. And it worked. It worked tremendously. I would not be here talking to you guys today had I not started my journey by removing as opposed to adding at first. At some point, you will begin adding to your plate. At some point, you will begin to start configuring things by bringing additional pieces into your life to figure out your purpose. But in the beginning, especially when you have no idea of where to begin, I'm going to encourage you guys to take a similar approach that I took and start removing. Just remove, let go, and let God. And that was one of the best things for me. And what I did was I didn't want to go outside on the block no more, so I stayed in the house. I didn't want to hang around the wrong people anymore, so I stopped hanging around them. I cut them off immediately. They're not going to be happy. They may not like you anymore, and it's okay because you're choosing you. You're choosing to level up. You're choosing to separate yourself from the past to building a future. And so that's what it was. I set myself down. And I said, you know what? We're going to sit here till we figure out some answers. We're going to sit here and we're just going to brainstorm. We're going to remove all of those vices, all of the negative energy, anything that does not serve me purpose. We're going to remove that and we're going to sit ourselves down, twiddle our thumbs. We're going to sit here long enough till we start coming up with something. And that's exactly what happened. I sat down, and the next thing that I'm going to share with you guys, the next piece that I'm going to add and share with you guys was I said, I don't know what to do in my life, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to figure out what it is that I do like doing. I'm going to figure out what it is that I like doing. You know, I'm going to start with hobbies. I'm going to start with my hobbies. I'm going to start with something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy working out. I'll work out at the house. But I said, let me go ahead and get a membership and start going to the gym and start building relationships and connections with people at the gym. And in this process, I realized that the gym environment, the environment in the gym was filled with people who had a totally different mindset than the people who was around me. It was younger people, it was middle-aged folks, it was older, wise folks who I can just talk to, chop it up, and then therefore they can give me some wisdom. I can let them know, hey, look, this is what I want, this is what I'm trying to do, even if it's just about the workout. At some point, the conversation will happen. If you sit in a barbershop long enough, eventually you will get a cut, and that's exactly how it happened for me. I sat in the gym, I was seeing other people getting active in the gym, and I started to crave, I said, you know what, I want to build my physique. So I started asking questions, I started building relationships, I started talking about my life, I started, inquiring about becoming a personal trainer because I was taking fitness serious, which I wouldn't have if I was still in those environments. Again, if I was still in those environments, I would not have grown to the point of discovering that I wanted to become a trainer, which is not the all in when it comes to the things that I wanted to establish, did establish, and want to continue to establish, but it began by letting go of the things that was unnecessary. It began by removing pieces. It began by saying, let me put myself in a different environment. Let me put myself in a different environment. I'm sure you guys have hobbies. I'm sure that there are things that you enjoy. So I'm going to encourage you to not just do it among yourself. Try to figure out where you can go, where you can get among other people who have similar interests. And I promise you, you'll start discovering pieces. It'll start coming to you. It'll start coming to you. So I was like, I'm going to start using this principle. I'm going to start using this method. I told myself I'm going to start doing things that brings value to me, things that make me happy. I'm encouraging you to, if you don't know what to do, start by doing things that put a smile on your face, things that touch the heart, things that makes you feel good. Start with that and just keep building upon that. Ask questions in those safer environments. Ask questions to the people that are doing something that's similar to what it is that you want to do. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Take notes. Jot it down. Let it come to you. Eventually your passion will come. Eventually you will discover your passion. Some things you'll pick up, some things you'll put down, and that's okay. If it doesn't work the first time, that's okay. If it doesn't work the second time, the third time, the 9th time, the 10th time, the 20th time, it's okay, because you're on the right path. You're on the right path. You're in pursuit mode. So you should be happy and embrace even when you figure out, if you figure out this isn't what I want to do anymore. Guess what? Even if it's things that you don't want to do, it's still going to add value to you. You're still going to develop skill sets, things that you can use as tools in your tool belt when it comes to the next thing that you embark on, when it comes to the next thing that you want to try to unfold and see, hey, maybe it's this, maybe it's not that. Trust me, everything that I did, that I put down, every tool that I got from it, I'm using it. When I did music, had my own music company, I thought I wanted to do that forever. At some point, I wanted to, pick the camera up and started doing YouTube. You feel me? But guess what? Many of the skill sets that I learned when it came to music helped me when it comes to my journey right here on YouTube. Many of those same skill sets that I used when it came to music helped me when it comes to my journey. Writing, speaking, standing on stage, communicating to the audience. I did the same exact thing with music that I'm doing now on YouTube, so it didn't go in vain. When it came to editing, I already knew how to edit my music, and all I did was just take those skill sets, and it fit like a glove when it came to me editing here on YouTube because I already knew how to edit. Are you catching what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? Do it anyway. Wherever you like, do it. And I promise you, even if you put that down, just take the principle, take what it is that you've learned from it, and just look at it like I'm just adding another tool to my tool belt, and I'm gonna use it when I need to, when it comes to me advancing and growing and doing different things. So I just wanted to, share that with you guys. A lot of people like, why you stopped doing music? You were so good at it. I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind gesture, but I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I knew, hey, you know what? I'm not letting everything go, because all of those skill sets that I acquired when I did music, I'm just pretty much advancing myself here on this platform, and I'm still doing the same thing. I did motivational music. I'm doing motivational content. I wrote a lot of songs. I did a lot of mixtapes. I'm doing a lot of videos. I'm doing a lot of YouTube videos. You feel what I'm saying? I created my own artwork when it came to my CD covers and things of that nature. I create my own thumbnails here on YouTube. So I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still serving my purpose. I'm just doing it differently. You feel what I'm saying? And so that's why I encourage you guys to, even if that thing that you try the first time don't work, I promise you, God is going to show you how to link what it is that you learned with that last thing to the new thing that you're doing. Because at the end of the day, you're following your heart. At the end of the day, you're following your passion. At the end of the day, you're doing something that makes you happy. You're doing something that resonates within you. So again, start by ending things, ending relationships that isn't relevant for you, ending relationships that does not contribute to your growth, whether it's a friend, whether it's an actual relationship with a significant other, whether it's a family member. It doesn't matter. If it does not serve you purpose, you got to let it go. Ending vices and things, anything that is deemed a distraction, anything that is on your plate that don't belong on your plate, let it go. Clear your plate as much as you possibly can, because this process is going to allow you to make room for new things that you will be adding on your plate. Things that's useful for you, things that'll be useful for you when it comes to your purpose, when it comes to contributing to your purpose, walking into your purpose, walking within your purpose. Start by subtracting. Start by letting go. And this is for anybody out there who has no idea of how to get started. I'm telling you, I had no idea. I can relate with so many of you guys. And again, I wanted to do this video a long time ago, but I had to let it marinate. I had some more growing that I had to do. I had to grow to a point where I realized, this is the perfect time. This is the time for me to share it with you guys. Had I came through with this video a year ago, 2 years ago, I may have left some things out, which I don't want to leave when it comes to me sharing, and pouring my heart out to you guys. But again, trust me, man, if you feel like you're in a rut, if you're feeling hopeless when it comes to your pursuit, I'm here to give you hope, my brother, my king, my sister, my queen. I'm here to give you hope. I'm here to tell you, I was one of you. I was just like you. I was in your shoes. And sure, it's going to require some work. It's going to be some painful nights. You're going to be in tears some nights. But you have to embrace all of that, because you're going to look back one day and it's all going to make you stronger. It's all going to bring you closer towards your purpose. It's all going to contribute to your purpose. And you have to remind yourself of that, especially on those hard days, especially on those difficult days. You're going to have to remind yourself often as possible. This is only going to make me better. This is only going to improve me. Yeah, you may not get answers right away, but just keep digging. Keep digging, keep removing, adding pieces. Remove, add pieces as often as possible, as often as you need to. And over a period of time, like I said, if you sit in the barbershop long enough, eventually you will get a cut. Eventually you will start finding solutions. Eventually you will start figuring it out. Just do those things that make you happy. It may seem small. If basketball is all you care about, if doing hair, ladies, is all you care about, start with that. Because I promise you, it's going to wake up something within you that's going to make you want to continue to keep doing it more and more and more. And it's just going to birth new ideas, new innovative ideas, new ways to create. We were put here to create. It's just going to put you in a position to say, you know what? This is an aha moment. Maybe I can capitalize off of this. So start with that small idea and just keep building. Start with just doing things that make you happy. Capture those happy moments and keep doing more of it. So again, I was looking forward to doing this video because I really believe in the bottom of my heart that somebody's going to take this video. Even if I just reach one person, even if one person take the information in this video and capitalize off of it and make use of it and do something with their life and find their purpose, then my job is done. You feel me? But of course the goal is to reach as many as possible, and I can't do it without you guys. So if you found this video useful, smash the like button, join the family, join the Strength Squad community, help build this love muscle. If you guys appreciated this video, lock all the way in, subscribe to the channel, turn your post notification bell. That way every single time we come through with these nuggets, you guys will get it. Again, I appreciate all the love and support that we get. My day ones, my in-betweens, my as of nows. I welcome all you guys as we continue to keep contributing to this positive love muscle that we're trying to grow. And of course, I cannot do it without you guys. Yes, I am a voice, but together we are a voice. So let's chop it up in the community. Let's, build this love muscle once again. Let's do it together. I can't do it without you guys, all right? So hopefully you guys appreciated the video. I appreciate all you guys. I love all you guys. As always, do what brings life to you. And it's a great chance that you'll bring life to whatever it is that you do. Now you guys get why I say that at the end of all of my videos. Do what brings life to you. Please don't let those words go over your head. If it brings life to you, do it. And eventually you'll start figuring out that the things that you're bringing life to is going to bring life back to you. Alright, so I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Spread light, spread love. Let's keep it positive. Let's stay on our purpose. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Peace and blessings. One love, strength.